All right, today is April the 27th. It is Wednesday. Do not forget about the assignments that are due at the end of the week. We do have a quiz on volume. We've been practicing volume all week. You have to know the volume formulas by heart. So please, as you're writing them, say them in your mind so you can remember them. There are all of these volume formulas, the ones that are circular, always have pi in it. Okay? So we got our cylinder, which we did on Monday. That's pi r squared times the height. We have the cone. That's 1/3 pi r squared times the height. And then we have the sphere, which hopefully we'll get to today, if not today, tomorrow. And that's going to be 4/3 times pi r. This one is times r to the third, a sphere is. Okay? It doesn't have a base. So it's going to be to the third power. The other two are to the second power, but the sphere is to the third power. Questions? All right. Please make sure that you go over those. The formulas will not be given on your test, quizzes, or end of the year assessment. Okay. You have to know your formulas by heart. All right. So we're doing the warm up. I'm going to go over the cone word problems and hopefully get to the sphere. If not, then we'll do sphere tomorrow. It's no big deal. We do have homework. Yesterday, Miss Savager did the homework help video. Today, I'll be doing the homework help video. Questions, comments, or concerns? Please put your phone up, okay? Put your phone up. All right, I'm going to pause to give you a chance to write. Is there anyone that's still writing? I'm assuming, but is there anyone that's still writing? All right, we'll take out your planner, please. It's Wednesday, Math 8. We have homework. We have a help video. Make sure you work on already. Okay. All right, check off. Yesterday, tutoring was canceled. I had to leave early. I didn't want to get stuck in the weather, to be honest. So we canceled tutoring yesterday. Homework help video. Check it off if you saw that with Miss Savager. And then already, if you worked on that, please check that off as well. This is our list for today. We have our homework help video, and we have already. Raise your hand if you're still writing. Okay, a couple people, I'm going to pause. Pause for the calls. All right, so let's look at the warm up. Let's look at the warm up. All right, so it's asking for which slope is steeper. Remember, when you're looking for which slope is steeper, when it's the slope, you're ignoring the negative and the positive. You're just looking at the number itself only. Okay. All right, so let's find the slope. The slope of this line is easy. Remember, it's written in y equals, or the equation, sorry, it's y equals mx plus b. The number that's attached to the x is going to be my slope. So look at this equation. Which one of those numbers is the slope? Is it 4 or is it 6? I'm sorry. 6. No. 6 is the b. B is 6 here. The starting amount is 6. That's the number that has no variable attached. It's 4. That's the number that's attached to the x term, okay? Or to the x variable, sorry. So our slope here is 4. It's positive 4, okay? So let's find the slope here. We have ordered pairs. We're going to use the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we're going to pick 2 points from the table. This is -2 and +2. This is hard to read. This is +2 and 3. Let's use those two. Those are the easiest ones to read. So I'm going to write the two ordered pairs here and label them. -2, +2, x1, y1. And +2 and +3. This is x2, y2. Any questions about how to label? And you can pick any 2 points from the table. Anybody still writing? Okay. Let me pause it real quickly. Let's keep it pushing, Lord. All right, so what are we going to substitute on the top? What numbers? This is x1, this is y1, first point. This is x2, this is y2, this is my second point. How do I know? Because this point came first and this point came after it. So this is first point, second point. You could choose any of the points in the table unless they tell you what 2 points to choose. Choose any one. And those were the 2 that were easiest to read. So on the top, we subtract our y's. Y2, which one of these numbers is y2? So we have 3. Minus is a part of the formula. Then we have 3 minus, which one of these numbers is my y1? 2. Very good. On the bottom, we're subtracting the x's. Which one of these numbers is x2? 2. Very good. Minus is a part of the formula. Which one of these numbers is, okay, thank you. Which one of these numbers is x2? I'm sorry. You're right, -2. That's going to be your x1. You want me to walk them down there? You can. You can. All right. Yeah, so what's 3 minus the 2? I said -2, didn't I? Yeah, I put negative. 1. What's 2 minus a -2? Not 2. Type it in, baby. Type in 2. Yikes. Not -4. Type in 2 minus a -2. It's 4. Good job. Yay. And that's going to be your answer. We're going to mark out this one. Well, actually, no, I'm going to do it. Let me do it. All right. The ice cream cone company is trying to decide how much space to fill their Guinness record-breaking ice cream cone. So yes, world record. But this is breaking ice cream cones. Okay, so the biggest ice cream cone you ever want to see in your life. If the height of the cone, which is a lot for a cone, right? 240 centimeters. And remember, a cone is shaped like this. And the height of this is equal to 240 centimeters. The diameter, that's the distance all the way through the base of that circle. That's from here to here. It goes through the center. Your diameter is 398 centimeters. Whew, that's a lot. All right. So we want to know about how many cubic centimeters of ice cream can this cone hold, okay? All right, and we're going to use this for pie. So let's write the formula for cone. Does anybody remember the formula for cone?
1/12 times 3.14 times.
That's a sphere that you're talking about there. What was you saying?
Equals 1/3 pi radius squared.
Very good.
Height.
Times the height. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you were saying the sphere, which was 4/3 pi r to the third power. Okay? You write this down? All right. So we got 1/3. What number did they tell us to use for pi?
3.14.
3.14. And the radius, they give you the diameter. How do you find the radius? Remember, the diameter goes all the way through. The radius goes only halfway.
Subtract.
Not subtract. You divide. What are you dividing by? 2, because you got to cut it in half. This is the whole thing. Half of the diameter is the radius. So we're going to say that 398 divided by 2 to see what we get for the radius. So let's do that. 398 divided by 2. And what do you get with that?
199.
199. Okay. So we get 199 centimeters as the height. I mean, as the radius, sorry, y'all. So this is going to be 199 centimeters, and you're going to square the radius and multiply it times the height. The height here is what? 240. Mm-hmm. So now let's multiply all of this together and see what we get, okay?
99. I know that, Andrea.
I didn't hear you, baby. I'm sorry.
I don't know how to say this number.
I can't see that far. Sorry. All right, so I'm going to type this in, see if you got the same thing I got. So we put in parentheses the 1/3, okay? And then we multiply it times the 3 and 1400ths. And then we multiply it times the 199, but we're going to square it because that's the radius, and we're going to square it. And then we multiply it times the height, which is 240. All right, so did you type that in correctly? 1/3 times pi times 199 squared. Did you type that in?
Yes.
All right. And now I'm gonna press enter here, and this is, you put your commas here. So this is 9,947,771 and 2 tenths. Okay. So that's how you say that number. Technically, how you say it. So 9,947,771.2. Okay. And that is centimeters to the what power? The third. Very good. So this is your volume. Okay, and I'll pause for the calls. Okay, so we're going back to our notebook. This was page 18. If you missed the notes yesterday, please go back and watch them. That's why I record them, so you can go back and watch them and get this in. Mr. Vajor did. All right, so let's do this. I told you to complete these two on yesterday, so we're gonna check it. If you didn't do it, then you need to make sure somebody is humming and all that foolishness. Please stop. That's disruptive.
Did you say cone?
It's cone. That's right. Yeah.
Who made it one?
You didn't get the one I said? You didn't get that one? Somebody must have kept it. That's fine. You could.
Raise your hand if you need this worksheet. Taylor, did you get one already?
Yeah, I sent Gabriel one.
Okay, so everybody's got
Except for Jocelyn didn't get it.
That's why I said raise your hand.
Yeah, right. Do you have a cone sheet from yesterday?
I think so.
Okay. All right, so let's do these two. If you didn't get those done yesterday, please make sure that you do them now. You have to know the formula by heart. Can anybody tell me what is the formula for volume of a cone?
Oh, what?
Cone.
Oh, 1/3.
1/3, very good. Times pi. Times the radius. Second power. Times height. Very good. Yes, Jesus. All right, so now we're going to take the information that was given and substitute it into the formula, okay? So here, let's write this in. We got 1/3. What number do we replace pi with?
3.71.
Very good. What number do we replace the radius with? 12. And we're going to raise it to the second power. And what number do we replace the height with? 18. Okay? So now we're going to type this in our calculator to see what we get as our answer. Please clear your calculator. 2nd plus 7, 1, 2. All right, so now we're going to type this in. How do I type in the fraction 1/3? Parentheses. 1 divided by 3. Close the parentheses. Very good. Then we're going to say times 3.14. Type that in. Then we're going to say times the 12, which is the radius, and we're going to square the radius. So what button do we press to square it? X to the second power. Good. We're saying it right now. Good job. Times, what's the height? 18. You okay? So this way or the calculator?
It don't matter. Like, it's a girl.
Okay. Like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's divided by 12. All right.
This is times. These are multiplications here. Okay? You didn't type it in. Come on, Jaden. Type it in, please. Press enter. What does that give you?
I got one.
Very good. You got 2,712. Some people say 0.96 or they say and 96 hundredths because the 6 is in the hundredths place. All right. So here my V is going to be, say again, baby. Okay. 96. And this is going to be inches to what power? Third power. Remember, volume is the number of cubic units or cubes inside of a three-dimensional figure. So now let's do this next one. We're going to do the formula again, okay? Kaylee, what's the formula for volume of a cone? Come on, baby. It's right here, okay? See it? It's don't forget what? 1/3. Then what? Pi times the radius squared times what? The height. Okay? So now let's substitute. Are you okay? Are you good? Okay. So now let's substitute. We got 1/3. What number do we replace pi with? 3.14. Okay? We substitute that. 3.14. Times, what's the radius in this problem? The radius. 2. It's 2 feet. And what do we do with the radius? We square it. Then we multiply, put the dot for multiplication. Then we multiply times the height. What's the height? 5 what? 5 feet. Now let's type this in so we can get our answer. Okay? I left you. Sorry. Tater, this is why Miss Moore is always talking to you about that, because you always have your book out. Oh, you're not paying attention to what I'm doing.
Never taken notes.
Come on now. We got to do better. This is what she's talking about. So you can't get mad. I mean, you can get mad, but it'd be off base. You can, but it will be off base. Because this is why. This is why. And she's helping because I can't see everything. So she's helping me. But you're taking it out on her when you're wrong. You're straight up wrong, dude. All right, let's type this in. All right, so we got 1/3. Let's type this in. Parentheses, 1 divided by 3. That's how you type in 1/3. Then you got times. Please type this in because you're not going to know how to do it if you don't type it in. We got 3.14. Then we got times 2. How do you square the 2? X to the second power button. Good. Thank you for saying it right. Times the height. What's the height? 5. Great job. Now press enter. What do you get there? 20.9. Okay. 20.93 is repeating, right? So we got 20.93 repeating. And this is feet to what power? Third power. Okay. Questions about that? This is still going to be page 18, but now we're going to be doing the word problems for this, okay? Page 18, continue. Anybody still copying?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so let's go to the word problems. This is still page 18 because we're dealing with cones, but we're just doing word problems, okay? All right, so let's do the word problem part. This is number 8 at the bottom of the page. We're going to do that first, this one. It says, for Christmas, Lily makes a paper cone Santa hat. If the height and the radius of the cone are, and see how they said height first. And since 8 came first, that's what they're talking about. The height is 8 inches.
We writing this on the paper?
I'm going to write it on the notebook. I'm going to write it in the notebook. And then 3 is the second thing they talk about, 3 inches. So the second thing that they said was the radius. So your 3 has to be the radius. Any questions about how I came to that conclusion? The height is 8 and the radius is 3. If you're not clear by reading it, then you need to let me know so that I can explain it. But you are going to see problems worded just that way. Anybody lost?
Wait, can you repeat it?
I can. Here it's saying that if the hat, and we're talking about a Santa hat. You know a Santa hat is a cone shape, right? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
it's triangle.
Okay. So they said if the height and the radius, notice how they say height first and then the radius. Got it? Of the cone are 8 inches and 3 inches. Since they said height first, then the first number is talking about the height. They said radius second, so the second number is talking about the radius. Do you understand what I said there? That's it.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to find the volume of that hat, given those two dimensions. So we got, again, our height is 8 inches for that cone-shaped hat, and the radius is 3 inches for the cone-shaped hat. This is a cylinder shape. What's the formula for volume of a cylinder? We got pi is in there, but what comes before that? 1/3. 1/3 times pi times what? Radius to the second power times the height. Good job. Okay. So now we're going to substitute the values into the formula. So we got V is equal to 1/3 times, what are we going to replace pi with? 3.14. Very good, babe. What are we going to replace R with? What's the radius?
8.
Mm-mm.
Oh, no, 3.
3 inches. Okay, good job. And what do we do with the 3 inches? We square it. Somebody said that. I don't know who, but good job. Times, what's the height? 8 inches. So now we're going to type this in the calculator to see what we get. Any questions about how I substituted? All right, so now let's type this in. So we're going to type in 1/3. How do we type 1/3 into the calculator? Very good. Parentheses, the open parentheses, which is right above the 8. 1 divided by 3. Close the parentheses, which is right above the 9. Please type this in so you'll know how to type it. Okay, so now we got pi, so we say times 3.14 times, what's the radius again?
3 inches.
3 inches, so we type in 3, and what do we do with the radius? Square it, and then times the height. What's the height again?
8 inches.
8 inches. Now press enter. What do you get for your volume? Okay, 75.36. You're doing yourself a disservice if you keep waiting for me to do it because you won't know that you know how to do it. Okay? And this is going to be inches to what power? The third power. Good job. Volume is how many cubic units, how many cubes can fit inside a three-dimensional figure. Okay? And this is how many cubes can fit. Any questions? All right, so now let's flip our sheet. Let's go to the other side of our sheet. And this is where our word problems are going to come from. It's very basic word problems initially first, and then they get a little bit more complex at the end, okay? All right, so those are our examples. Let's start with number 1. All right, they give you the answer for number 1, but we want to know how they got that answer, so we're going to do that one together. It's hard to kind of see up here, so please look on your sheet. It says the height and the diameter. Which one did they say first?
Height.
Height they said first. Then the diameter of a cone-shaped bottle are 1. So what is the 1? Which one is the height? So H is equal to 1 foot. And then it says the diameter. What is the measurement for the diameter? 2 feet, because that's the second number they said. It's 2 feet. They want you to find the volume of the water bottle, okay? And they want you to use 3 1400 for pi. All right, what's the formula for a volume of this cone-shaped bottle? What's the formula for a cone?
B equals 1/3 times pi
Mm-hmm.
times r radius squared
Mm-hmm.
times height.
Times the height. Okay, so let's substitute the information into the formula. So we bring down, we got 1/3. What number do we replace pi with? 3.14. Do they give us the radius?
No.
No. What do they give us?
Diameter.
Remember, the diameter, it goes all the way through the circle. This is the diameter. The radius is half of that. Okay, so if the diameter is 2, how do you find the radius? You say what? I'm sorry. I can't somebody said it, then they stopped. I don't know. Diameter divided by what? 2. Okay, so we got 2 feet divided by 2. What's 2 divided by 2?
1.
So the radius is 1. The radius is equal to 1 foot. So we're going to put 1 foot and we're going to square it. Now, what did they say the height was?
1.
The height is 1 foot. Now we're going to type this in to see what we get as our answer. Anybody still writing before we start typing? Okay. All right. You got it, babe? Okay. So let's type this in. We got 1/3. How do you type in the fraction 1/3? Okay. Kaylee, you got it? Kylie, do you have it? Type it in so you'll know how to type it in.
Oh, I don't have my calculator.
They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 calculators up there. Come on now. All right. Times, what's pi? What do we type in for pi? 3.14 times, what's the radius? 1. And you got to the second power. Good. Times what? Times 1. Press enter. What's going to be the volume there?
1.046.
Very good. And the 6 is repeating, right?
There's a 7 at the end.
It's because it rounds it when it gets to the end of the screen. And this is feet to what power?
Second.
Third is volume. Area is to the second. Volume is to the third. That's how many cubes can fit in that cone. Any questions about that? And remember, a cone is shaped like this. This is a cone. All right, let's try number 2. Anybody still writing before I move to 2? Okay. Christian, do you have it written? All right, let's do number 2. Number 2 says calculate the volume of a cone if the height is 12 centimeters and the radius is 7. So we're doing a cone again. Sorry about that. What did they say the height of this cone was? 12 centimeters. What did they say the radius of this cone was? 7 centimeters. Any questions about where I got that from? All right. What's the formula for volume of a cone?
V=1/3 times pi times radius squared
Times what, baby? Times height. Very good. All right. So we're going to substitute this information. We got 1/3. What number do we replace pi with? 3.14. What number do we replace the radius with? 7 centimeters. We square it. Good job. Times what? 12 times 12 centimeters, the height. All right, so now we're going to type this in our calculator. Anybody still writing before we start typing? Okay, go ahead, baby. You got it? Did you get it, Jaden? Almost, okay. You said finish. Let's type it in. How do we type in 1/3? Very good, baby. Good job. I'm so proud of you. Times. What do we type in for pi? Very good. Times. What's the radius? And what are we going to do with it? Square it. Good job. And then we do what? Times 12, the height. Good job. And what does that give us for volume? 615.44. And this is centimeters to what power? The third power. Good job, y'all. All right, I want you to do the third and the fourth on your own, please. Let's do that now. Actually, 1, 2, 3. Let's do 3, 4, 5, and 6. Do those on your own, please. Okay? I need these in your notebook. Say again, baby. The slant line, like this. The side, the slant. You got it? Draw it so you can see it. It's this part of the cone. Okay? It's this, the slant side is this part of the cone. It's the side of the cone. It's slanted. Because it's a right triangle here. You could use the height and use the slant height to figure out what the radius is. And then that's all you need is the radius. So, like if they gave you this, let me write it on the back of this white paper. And I'll do the cone right side up so you can see it. I'll make a bigger cone. So if they give you this side right here, and they say this is 12, right? I'm just making that up. Do you see that, Aaliyah? And they give you this, the height. See, this is what this shape look like. What does this shape look like? A right triangle. And then they tell you that this side, give me a number. It can't be higher than this one.
Oh.
6. Okay. You see what I'm saying? The slanted has to be the longest side. So you got to figure out this radius, right? You understand? So you use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, so what do you substitute for a in that figure?
6.
6. What do you substitute for b?
Um,
B, because b is missing.
yeah.
And what do you substitute for c?
12.
12. Do you understand that now? And then you solve for b, and that gives you the radius. Do you understand that now? All right, I'm going to pause to give us a chance to, I'm going to turn to another page, to give us a chance to solve those problems. Yes, they are challenging, but it's not impossible. I need you to try. DJ, I need you to try. Okay? Nothing beats a failure but to try. Okay? So you only fail if you don't try. All right, so let's see what you got. Okay, let's try number 3. It says find the volume of a cone. So, of course, you know this is the cone. Okay? And the formula for volume is 1/3 pi r to the second times the height, okay? And it's telling you that the height is 5 centimeters. So h is equal to 5 centimeters. And then it tells you that the slant height is 13. Oh, this is the one that was kind of difficult. This is the slant height here. It's 13. All right. It's not the height here. This is the slant height they're talking about, and then this is 5. So look, you have to. This is a right triangle here. You got 5, 13 here. This is the side that's missing. So I'm gonna draw this triangle out to the side so you can see it. This is the height. This is 5. I meant to say 5. This is the slant height. This is the side of the cone. That's 13. The radius is what's missing. That's your B. This is A. This is B. No, you're not. This is C. Don't say that. You're not. All right. So how do I figure out what B is? What could I use? Say again. I didn't hear you. Pythagorean theorem. It's okay if you got it wrong. Let's just make the correction. Now you know. They did not give you the radius. They gave you the slant height. That's what's to throw you off. So this is 5. And this is 13. Okay. So what's 5 squared? 25. Good. And then let's do 13 squared. What's 13 times 13? 169. Good job, y'all. Now what do we do to get B by itself? Excellent. Please copy this down. Jalen, you okay, babe? Make sure you get this right, okay? This is gone, and we're left with the B squared. Now we need to subtract. This gives us 4 here, and 1. Now what do we do to get the value of B? Square root. The square root of B squared is just B. What's the square root of 144?
12.
It's 12. So my radius, this bottom part right here, my radius is 12. So here, my radius is 12. Height and radius. Any questions about that before I move on? All right, so now let's substitute. Anybody still writing? No? Okay. You're still writing? Okay, go ahead. Jaden, sit up, babe. All right, ready? Let me know when you're finished. Let me know when you're finished. Yeah, it's like you, then him, then him, then you. Y'all gotta get some sleep that night. What y'all do? Be playing video games?
Yes.
Yeah, y'all stop doing that. Play them in the daytime. When they had, I mean, nothing makes me lose my sleep. I cut everything off and I dive in the bed. I be so excited to see my bed. I don't know what to do. I'm like, ooh, and I'm
Should I
just,
go to sleep now or should I wait?
I know, I try to hold off because I'm like, well, if I go to sleep early, then I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night. No, I'm not. I will sleep all the way through.
Me too. I went to sleep at
Yes.
5 o'clock once. And
Sleep
then I woke up at
doesn't
like 7
come
a.m.
often because a lot of times I'm working on something.
Like in the morning.
I was so happy it rained yesterday. I didn't know what to do. They said y'all can go home. Really? You gonna let us go at 2:30? I was out of here at 2:35.
It wasn't even raining that bad. You probably had to
It don't matter. The wind was blowing and they said get out. I said, okay. Say less. Say less. I was so happy to see my house at before dark. I didn't know what to do.
Oh, you have to see your family and all that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You ain't say all that. You said no.
Yes. The dog was happy to see me, huh? Oh, it's late sometimes. And then I gotta go to, go work out a little bit to lose this fat. All right. So what do we plug in for pi? And then radius is what? 12. And what do you do with radius? Square it. And then the height is what? 5. So let's type that in and see what we get. Anybody still writing before we type? All right. So this is 1/3 times 3.14 times 12 squared times 5. And what does that give you? Yep. V is equal to 753.6. And what units is this? Centimeters to the what? Very good. All right. We'll do the other ones tomorrow along with sphere. Okay?